Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. This week we have a musician, JD Clayton. We talked about moving back to Arkansas to be around his family, his time in Nashville, how he balances creativity with business, how his family helps when he's out on tour, his short tenure as a landscape worker, his love of Martin's barbecue, transitioning from road life to home life, and his new album Blue Sky Sundays, which comes out on February 28th. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Before we get into the thick of it, I saw that you went to University of Arkansas. Are you a Arkansas basketball fan?
I actually went to University of Arkansas at Fort Smith, which is like the sister college.
I saw that, but
a little different, but
still part of it.
Not as cool, unfortunately. But tough times to be an Arkansas fan.
Yeah.
But
I am a Kentucky fan. I went to UK. So Thank you for taking Calipari off of our hands. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, about, what,
I am a huge basketball fan, so I saw that you went to Arkansas, and I was like, all right, I gotta bring that up.
Yeah, I wish that I would have gone there and graduate. My dad graduated from there. It's a great school, and we go up for a lot of sporting events, but I cannot call myself a true Razorback, gotcha. Unfortunately.
I'm from Indiana. I'm one of three kids. I'm the only one who didn't go to IU for anything. I went to Belmont, and my wife went to Kansas for grad school, and like in my vows, I actually said I will always cheer for Kansas unless they play Indiana University. and she was like, "But you didn't even go there," and I'm like, "You don't listen. It doesn't matter. It's embedded in me. I have to cheer for Indiana sports no matter what's happening."
Yeah, my wife's family all graduated from Texas A&M, and so we kind of have that going on in that household. If the Razorbacks aren't on, everybo's cheering for A&M. So
I think we beat A&M last night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you did.
Double whammy, JD. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Justin, this isn't all. You're supposed to make the guests feel welcome, feel safe and comfortable.
I am just riding on cloud 9 right now with basketball. So
I thought that was the pills you took before you got on the phone call.
But no, JD, what was funny is, I am hardcore basketball. One of the first questions that I asked my wife before, like when we went on a blind date together, I saw that she had a 270 number, which is Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I asked her, are you a Louisville fan or a UK fan? If she would have said Louisville, it would have been done. But she said UK, and I was like, all right, we can continue.
Your kids would look a lot different.
Yep.
They would. JD, are you in Nashville? Are you in Arkansas? Where are you living at right now?
So I'm back in Arkansas. My wife and I lived in Nashville for, I guess it was about 3.5 years. And then touring and my music business started to kind of take off a little bit, and to the point that it just didn't make sense to stay in Nashville if we were going to have a family. Yep. So we got pregnant with our first daughter, and I kind of talked to my team and asked if it'd be okay if we moved back home, and so we did. And I'm really blessed. I've got all of anybody that I'm possibly related to lives within like a 20-minute radius. Nice. And all of my grandparents are still living. They're
cool.
Both my grandfathers are almost 88, and they babysit my two daughters occasionally.
Cool. Awesome.
So it's just, it's a great situation. It's made, it's kind of made the music business tough as far as logistics go and traveling, but I would never, I grew up getting to spend a lot of time with my grandparents. So that was kind of a decision my wife and I made early on, was that we wanted that for our kids, because I think that it really made me I don't know, just a better person and a better man. Yeah. So
I feel like you could kind of watch as people started to get married and starting to have kids. I had lots of friends who started just to move back home just because, one, Nashville's expensive and you have a kid and you need more space. But also it's just like you realize like, oh man, how do we do this without a community? And you're usually that community is family. So I always understand if someone's like, hey, I'm moving out here for family. It's like, hey man, I get it. Go for it.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I know a lot of people that do it and they make it work, and they go full commit to just kind of raising a family on their own, and their parents come into town, when they can. And
both of us are like that.
Yep.
So we lived in Nashville. We moved to Murfreesboro. Devin moved to Colorado.
Whoops. Need to change the name of the podcast.
So we're no longer the Nashville Dads. We are changing the name, but
technically we became dads in Nashville, so we can still write out this name for a little bit longer, Justin, okay?
Yeah, but none of our family none of our family lived in the Nashville area except for Devin's sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he moved to Denver, and I guess you have a great aunt?
I have 3 aunts and an uncle.
Three aunts and an uncle.
Yep.
Okay, well that helps. But
it does, yeah.
We have zero family in the Murfreesboro area. But we love it. We're in the downtown area, and it's a whole lot better than Nashville.
Nice. Yeah. For a hot minute, I thought I was going to go to MTSU.
Okay.
And it didn't work out, but I like Murfreesboro, and I love Nashville. If we could, in a different world, I would have loved for my family to have moved out to us. And if we could have stayed in Nashville, music aside, I just loved I think it was coming from a small town, moving to a bigger city. I loved that kind of hustle, just seeing so many like vibrant folks out doing their thing. It just was, it was a really cool season of our,
but you basically have to be a millionaire to live in Nashville now.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not, so I don't live there.
Me neither.
We're neither.
Hence the reason we're not in Nashville anymore.
Yeah. Hence the removal of Nashville in the name of Nashville Dads. No,
but also though, like if you do have if all of your family is within 20 minutes of each other, like that's pretty rare. Because I mean, my brother lives like in New York. My parents are still in Evans or in Southern Indiana. My sister lives in Nashville. Like we're very spread out. So like, but if all of us lived within 20 minutes of each other, it would feel very different to do a big move, to move in a different city. Because it's like, no, like all the, like everyone, the support group is here. Why am I not here? So I get it.
Yeah. It was really tough because we had built, it was kind of the first time that my wife and I had, kind of spread our wings and went off on our own. And it was all around, it was a great season, and we learned a ton and we grew as a couple. But, when it came to like, I remember the day that we had our first daughter at the hospital. The first like hour or two was really special. And it was like, man, this is, I can't believe that this is our kid. And then the third hour hits and it was like, man, I really wish that my mom was in the hallway so I could show them this kid. Yeah. And that was kind of when it hit. It was like, if we don't have, what are we doing? What is all this for? We don't have any family to share these moments with. I mean, we can FaceTime them and whatnot, but like, they're not here.
It's different.
It's different. And so, anyway, it's been great. We've been here a couple of years now and kind of have had to rebuild our community of friends and kind of relearn. We're both from here. So but when you're gone for 5 years from a place, you come back and it's like, dang, where'd everybody go?
Yeah.
All your systems and kind of the way that things were have changed. So
you moved to Nashville like right before the pandemic, right? Like a year.
Yeah. I moved the first weekend of July 2019. So I basically got a good, clean 6-month stretch.
Yeah.
And then it all went down.
Yeah. Have you always played music as your career, or have you ever done anything else also?
I was a business major in college and focused in marketing, worked for a logistics company that basically got us to Nashville. And I started doing music and like writing songs my freshman year of college. And it was kind of always on the back burner because it just wasn't taken seriously as like this isn't something that you do for a career.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've worked for a lot of different companies, but mostly just sales and logistics. Okay. And then
I saw that you worked for a landscape company, I guess, when COVID hit. You had to,
yes,
because your coffee shop that you worked at, I guess, closed down for that.
Yeah.
What landscape company did you work for?
I worked for Artisan Landscape in Nolensville, Tennessee.
All right. So I work for a landscape company. I'm the operations manager for Peachtree. So I was like, ooh, I saw that on your bio. I was like, all right, I got to ask that question.
Yeah. Yeah, I would see some Peachtree trucks every once in a while.
Nice.
There's some rivalry in Nashville among the lads. It was a trip. That was like the greatest. I had to get a new phone, and so I was exporting all my old photos, and I was just scrolling through like that 2020 to middle of 2021 era of my life.
Yeah.
And it was insane. I mean, there's like pictures of me in this basement at Alfredo's house and his mom serving me like tortilla soup. And it was Alfredo's son's birthday party. So there's like a piñata in the background and kids everywhere. I was just like living in
it's authentic food and it's so delicious.
Oh, it's so good. It was just a crazy time. Yeah. I kind of, right after I lost the job, my landlord happened to own this landscape company. And I was like, man, I'll come cut grass, whatever, just to get some work. And he was like, well, I'm actually looking for some install guys. So I'm going to throw you on this truck with these guys. So it was me, Nico, Jose, and Alfredo on one truck. And for 2 years, from 6:30 a.m. in the morning to usually 6:30 at night, I would be in the truck with these three dudes. Going all, like, we did all of the landscaping at B&A for the new garages and everything. We did all the landscaping on off like First Baptist Church on Broadway. So I was like just down there, like planting the trees and stuff. So it's weird because I like drive when I go back to town for work. I'll like drive around and be like, I planted that bush right there.
That is so awesome.
It's it's definitely, that was a weird time. But
were you married or did you have kids yet in 2020?
I was married, but no, we hadn't started having kids yet. So
cool. That helps.
It was, it definitely does.
It's a very different type of kid during the pandemic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can't imagine. And my wife was working as a nurse, so it was kind of we were fresh out of college. We, everything's shut down, but we're still working our tails off.
Yeah,
her especially, with nursing, and so it was kind of great. We'd see each other, on the weekends, but we were kind of in that. There's something special about that grind period.
Yeah.
When not in the moment, you kind of you're tired and worn out and kind of frustrated at the situation. But looking back, I look back on that time fondly. I did a lot of growing up.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And when did your first daughter, when was she born?
She was born in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Summer of 2022. And then we just had our second last summer. So we have a 2.5-year-old and a 7-month-old.
Nice.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. How about you guys? What ages are y'all's kids?
Devin? I'll go first, Justin.
Yeah.
So I have I'll round up. My 2 older daughters, their birthdays are in the next 3 weeks, so I'm going to round up for them. I have a 9-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old daughter, and a 3-year-old son.
Gosh, the 9 and 7, that just sounds so crazy. And I have 2 kids, a daughter who is just
she's 3,
just right under Devin's 3-year-old, like within 5 days, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've got a son who will be 3 months on the 24th. So got a fresh one.
Let's go.
We're just now like getting into the groove of things, which is it was great. It was hell for the first 2 to 4 weeks.
Dude. The second one was definitely the pregnancy was very smooth, and the birth was like way better than the first one. But man, those first couple weeks on the second, whoa.
Yeah. What's
a lot of like comments being thrown down the hallways of just like, whose idea was this? Like,
JD, what's the age difference between your kids?
Almost 2 years exactly.
Okay, mine are 23 months apart. So, yeah, that first month you just sit there and you're like, "Oh, we thought this was a good idea." Like in like 5 years from now, this will be great. This will be fine, which it is, by the way, on the other side of it now. But yeah, that first year, you're just like, why did we? The other one isn't out of diapers yet. They also can't really tell us their needs yet because they can't communicate. Why did we think this was a good idea?
Yeah, well, and then my wife's like, trying to read these books about potty training your child before you have the next one, so that they're prepared. But then once you do, they see that the other baby is in diapers, so they regress. Mm-hmm. And I at that point I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to be around anymore. I don't think I want to be around anymore.
Yeah. I'm gonna step out. I'll come back. But I'm just gonna step out.
You know what? I might not come back. I might not. I'm gonna exit stage left, and if you see me, great.
That's great.
If not, no, I'm just kidding.
I will still exist. However,
exist in your hearts.
Exactly.
Devin, is Josh completely potty trained?
Yeah, we still put a pull up on him overnight just because he usually doesn't like go pee in his sleep or anything like that. But every time I'm like, oh, let's just leave him in his underwear, he always has an accident. The one time we don't do it. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to wash sheets that much. And like if he was like waking up and be like, no underwear, or if it was a fight or something like that, it'd be different. How's Ada? Is Ada fully out of diapers now?
I mean, she's in the same boat as cool. Josh. Wears the sleep undie at night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, rarely does she wake up where it's dry. It's usually like just completely soaked. And there are times where it's been soaked and actually gone through the sleep undie and on the bed, and you're just like, well,
I did what I could.
Gotta change it.
I've done all I can do.
JD, how about you? Are you going through the potty training right now, or
we're basically where Devin's at? It's with the youngest. We or with our oldest, with his youngest. Yeah. It's she will do a diaper through naps and overnight, and but. The sleep undie thing you're talking about, is that the same as the sleep sack, like the overall bib that they wear? No, are you guys familiar with those?
Yeah. Those are cool. Like a sleep sack. Yeah, it's like, well, because the tight swaddle does feel like you're trying to strangle your child sometimes, or like you're like holding their arm in one position as they're saying, please stop, basically, and then you straitjacket them. So that always felt a little weird to me to be like, this is what's best for you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna like this.
This will become your normal one day. It just doesn't. Not for me.
Yeah, it's basically just a sleeping bag.
I know
that's like overalls,
yeah.
But yeah, that has been a lifesaver. I mean, they basically treat it like a blankie. It's the same thing, but you wear it. But it's like she likes to like grab the shoulder and kind of twist it up, and then she holds it up because originally this is more information than you wanted.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
That's right.
When we would wash this sleep sack, my wife had bought the Diva wash. Are you familiar with the
No.
Diva wash?
It is a detergent that smells like the nectar of the gods.
Okay.
So it just makes your clothes smell fantastic. Anyway, we'd wash the sleep sack in this stuff, and then she loved the smell. So she, at nap time, would grab her sleep sack, turn it up in her fist, and just like hold it to her nose, and just kind of, and then that would soothe her, and she would go to bed. Yeah, and before school, it got so bad. We don't use Diva wash anymore. But, it got so bad that I remember I picked her up and put her on our counter because we were about to head to school, and or Mother's Day out, whatever it was, and I got her a bottle, and she just was like, I was like, we got to go. The car's running. We got to go get in your car seat. And she was like, okay, one more smell. And she grabs, she grabs the sleep sack and is just like goes, all right, Dad. All right, I'm ready.
She needed one more hit. She needed one more huff.
I was like, all right, we're not going to use. Yeah, we're done with this detergent.
How do we tell JD that Diva Wash is our only sponsor and they pay for everything? No, I'm joking.
Hey, I'm not really knocking it. It did make my skin break out, and it.
No!
But
you weren't diva enough.
I don't know.
That's what it was.
I don't know if it did. But gosh, it does smell so good. I recommend it'll come in a bottle about this size. So if you want like a fun weekend, make everything in the house smell great. Sprinkle a little bit of that in the wash.
just spice things up. JD, this is Justin, you can answer this also. Since you have two kids, what was the jump from like 1 to 2 like for you? What's something you've learned from that whole experience?
Good question. I don't know if I've learned anything specific. It's just I've really started to notice the difference when it comes time to after coming out of the holidays. School has started back. She goes to this kind of like two days a week Mother's Day out kind of school, and just the act of getting the 2-year-old up, getting her dressed, having a fight about what we're going to wear, getting her a bottle of milk, getting her in her car seat. Prior to all this, going out and starting the car because it's in the 30s outside. Then telling her, I get James Taylor on the CD player going, and then I'm like, all right, hang out. I'll be back. I'm going to go get your sister. Run inside, get the 7-month-old out of her crib, take her to the car. Meanwhile, making sure the black lab doesn't escape out of. It's just kind of like. This is it's. I was thinking about it over the last weekend. It was like, man, used to, we would have, on a weekend, we could just put our oldest down for a nap, and then like, we'll have 2 hours to just hang out.
Yep.
Now that we have the 7-month-old, she's only going to sleep 30 minutes. Her nap doesn't line up with the 2-year-old's nap.
Yep.
And so it's like, I'm like looking at my wife. I'm like, I don't even know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
I I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. People talk about like unspoken parent burdens or blah, 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 blah. You are always on. And like, it's the worst part about being always on is whenever you think you're about to get relief, like you think your kid finally falls asleep and like, oh my God, are both of them sleeping at the same time? And like the words leave your mouth and then one of them wakes up immediately. And you're like, oh, I literally just wanted like
I
10
jinxed
minutes.
myself.
I just wanted 10 minutes. I just want to like, I'm not even doing anything fun. I'm just putting the dishes in the dirty sink in the dishwasher while not holding a baby at the same time. I thought I was going to be able to do that. I'm not. Damn it.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
I was talking to our therapist. We do couples therapy. We just got back to it after having Briar, nice. And we were talking about how we feel like we are teammates right now in this situation. I originally said it feels like we're roommates, and Haley like corrected me, and she was like, "No, we're more like teammates. Like roommates, they don't really have at least a deep understanding and communicate as well as teammates." And I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
Yeah,
but yeah, I totally understand.
That's a cool way to look at it. You kind of are just having to check things off the list to make sure that, do we have a functioning roof over our head? Are these kids fed and loved? And are they learning? That's been the biggest struggle for me in the last, like, I don't know, couple of months maybe, of just kind of watching the 2-year-old enter this new phase of probably what people refer to as the terrible twos, but just her kind of wanting to become her own and starting to begin to ask questions and talk back. And, and it's like a huge test because it's like, immediately I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm my father.
No, really though. Yeah.
I said I would never do this. It's just, it really challenges it challenges everything in you to kind of like pause and
have patience and understanding of the chaos that's around you.
Yeah, and golly, you just realize how little, for me, how little patience I have, how quick I am to get frustrated in a situation that is so, minuscule compared to what's happening in the world. I mean, this is just, she dropped her milk. Relax.
Yeah.
So now, that's been a big thing.
It does like immediately make you realize like I think having kids is fascinating because you have to realize so many things about yourself you didn't know were inside of yourself. So yeah, your kid asks you the same question 20 times and you respond just like your mom or your dad did to you. And you're like, why did you do that? Well, that's what's just normal to me to respond like this. And you're like, I should be processing if that's good or bad, that's my normal, right? Like,
yeah.
But then you're just like, oh wait, hold on, there's another. It's
because I said so.
It's because like whenever your kids are as young as Justin and JD, as your kids are right now, like you're meeting needs and they don't have the ability to meet the needs themselves. So it's you or your wife or family members if you live near them. And that's it. They can't do it on their own. And that is such an exhausting reality to live in. It gets better, but it is very exhausting.
Yeah. Well, and my oldest has kind of had a strange, unique upbringing because for all of the first year of her life, I mean, I was home maybe like 4 weeks.
Oh, really?
Just touring like crazy. And so, and like I said, my wife works as a nurse. So that leaves the grandparents to basically be trading off watching the kids, several days a week. It's just different. And so that's kind of been, in the long run, I think it could be really cool for her because I think she'll be extremely comfortable with so many different types of people and be able to talk to older generations. And you can tell she's like, definitely she's quick to, she was quick to speak and have conversation at an early age. And so, but still kind of that's been a tough thing to kind of be absent from, and kind of I carry a lot of guilt. Just was
it hard, getting back into the swing of things and her adapting to you getting back and then having to leave?
Yeah. Definitely. I'm kind of having to think about how that it would like, I would always notice when I had been gone for like a 2-week stretch and would come home, and you could tell it like took a split second, and then she just was so excited to see me. But she would have changed drastically each time I came back home. It was like a different kid, just because they grow. You don't realize how quick they grow at such a young age. So that has kind of been a special thing with our second daughter, because I've been home a lot. And it's been really great to just be around her, for most of her first year of life. But I don't know. Do you guys, I don't know what you guys do, outside of the podcast, but like, do you ever feel, struggle within yourself to like not be home with your kids all the time, but you've still got to go to work and provide, and like, I really have in the recent, like, I guess 6 months, just really struggled with that of like, I'm a touring musician, but just because I'm not on the road right now doesn't mean I don't have to go to work. I still have to like go, I got to do this. I've got to do a podcast, or I've got to record a song, or I've got to, plan the album cover for a new, project, whatever it is. And so I've tried to make a comparison, I guess, with just like different, dads and their different lines of work. And just like some dads, I heard the other day about a dad that had to, his work has him leaving on Monday morning, and he gets back home on Thursday evening, and then he gets to be home for the weekend, but then he's gone Monday through Thursday. So
Devin and I's lives are like complete opposites, in some form or fashion. I'll go first, Devin, on this, but
sure.
I'm an operations manager and a partner for Peachtree. So I run the whole company. During the summertime, hundreds of people working for us. I don't know how Artisan was, but with all of that comes the chaos of 100 people's lives and characters and their personalities. So there's always a fire to put out. There's always somebody needing you when you're holding the baby, when you're trying to feed the baby, when you're trying to put the baby down to sleep. You're always, or at least for me, I always feel like I'm getting torn in different directions.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Justin, where were you last Thursday night? What were you doing?
Snow work.
Oh, dude, that's, I'll have to, we may have to sidebar on some snow, some landscaping, snow removal that's good times.
Yeah. We did ice melt. We spread ice melt. We pre-treated Thursday night. Then we started at the shop at 3:00 in the morning.
Good.
That next day. And because we wanted to make sure that all of our trucks were in the spots that they needed to be before the storm hit. Because like last time we were behind on the storm, and it took our guys forever to get to their places. So we were prepared this time, but we started at 3:00 in the freaking morning, worked all the way through the day. And then got some rest, and then had to go back at it at 4:00 on Saturday, and worked Saturday as well. But this storm was not as bad as the last year when we had 6 inches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I was in the skid steer for 18 hours straight.
But Justin, that means you're also managing all the logistics of that also, right? Like you're making sure the structure actually there. You're you're making sure people are actually showing up whenever they're supposed to be showing up also.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What was it? I think it was Friday. I had my earpiece in. I was on a dingo. So it wasn't enclosed. I'm standing the entire time. And I'm scraping snow off of one of our industrial properties, and I'm getting phone calls and text messages saying, "What do I do? Where do I go? Doing all this?
What am I supposed to scrape?"
Yeah. So I'm constantly either having to stop and read the text or just be on the phone call while I'm trying to scrape and yelling at the person trying to hear over it. But yeah, it's chaos.
Oh man.
And JD, I am a stay-at-home parent. So
nice.
so I am very lucky. Having the second kid is whenever I quit my job, because we did a full year of having 2 kids in daycares, and to afford it in Nashville, they were in 2 separate daycares. So it was just, and my wife would travel for work, which she travels for work still. And after a year of it, it was I don't like that. I've never been a career person. I'm not I need to be at this level. I need to be doing this to feel worth or anything. Yeah. So it was just kind of well, if we do the math, we can live off your salary. And realistically, I'm just the money I make is just paying for daycare. That's it. So what are we doing here? So since January of 2019 or February of 2019, I've been a stay-at-home parent. So
okay, nice.
It's very lucky. But the reason why is because of that struggle, because of the constant communication with your wife, with your partner of hey, our kid is sick. So which one of us's jobs matters more today? That's basically the conversation you have on a daily basis when you both work and your kid is sick.
And it is so hard.
It is so hard because you both work a job to pay for to finance your life, and because you care about your life, and you hopefully the job you're working also something you actually studied, something you've crafted, so you're also good at it as well. So to just suddenly step back from that also is but I've just spent all this time getting good at this. I kind of want to do this stuff.
Yeah. And JD, does your wife work at a hospital, or does she work at a pediatrician or doctor's office?
She's at a hospital.
Okay, because that's 12-hour shifts usually. Right. So that's got to be really hard.
And it's 3 days in a row. A lot of times, she sometimes she gets to structure her weeks differently, but lately it's been 3 12s in a row, and so it's Monday morning. Get the girls up and take them to one of the grandparents' house, and then I head to my studio and start work. And then I'll see them in the evening, and then we'll take them home, put them down together, and then repeat. And Tuesdays I take one of them to school, and so that's a whole different process.
Yep.
So it's different, but that kind of gets to, what you're highlighting, Devin, that gets to the point of why we kind of made that jump to move back. Because it's just, when we were doing the math, it was there is not a chance. My music business is nowhere near ready to support a child or pay for daycare. And
a second mortgage. The phrase is a second mortgage. That's what.
Seriously. Yeah. Exactly. To drop my daughter off every day with somebody that we don't know yet. Yeah. And meanwhile, in a town 7 hours away, we have 25 willing and able bodies, even some in their late 80s, still willing and able. So it was all right. I'm looking over here at Alfredo and his 15 people all living in the same house. And I'm people joke and make stereotypes, but this is a really special thing.
That's pretty cool.
Watching him and his family all be together all the time, and what a sweet dynamic, and
well,
great.
Speaking of that, that was something else that during our couples therapy, our therapist was just like, throughout history, usually people that have kids are within a community of their family that can take care of their kids if they're down sick, or if they have to go out and hunt or something like that. So it's like we're like a blimp in the whole entire history of humanity, of where families are. It's just the mom and the dad taking care of the kid and trying to figure out this effed up life that we call.
I mean,
I mean, it everybody's different, and everybody kind of like there's some guys I know that they thrive on kind of that system of not being around family, and then every couple months or around the holidays they all get together, and they do really well around that. But for us, it's been a good change to kind of just have everybody around.
Yeah. But what's your JD? What's your day-to-day look like? Like, are you doing co-writes? Are you working on demos? Like, how do you, whenever you're working on your career, what does that normally include, or what does that mean?
Well, this week, so we have a new song coming out on Friday, and an album announced. So nice. This is a very unique week for me because it's. Do we have the merch done? Do we have the profile image that's going to go on Instagram? What posts am I going to put up this week to tease that there's a big announcement coming?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of chaos, but a week that's, next week and the week after, it'll look more like, I'll try to take the morning, like say 8 to noon, and just write. And that's a new kind of discipline I'm trying to incorporate, because last year I didn't write a whole lot. So I'm like, that's kind of the point of this, what I'm doing. So I need to make sure I'm writing every day. So that's my new thing, is I'm going to take the morning hours and write. And then in the afternoon, basically use that time for, meetings with the team, and shooting videos that we would use for like content. That's kind of the big thing right now. If you're somewhat familiar with like modern music industry whatsoever, it's all content. And so it's really trying to find the right time and place to kind of batch that, and how to roll it out. And it's,
I feel like JD Huggins was like that also, of just being like, I know what I need to do for you guys to pay attention to me in the music business industry. Can I just make music? Can I just do that instead? That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, it's that's exactly why I've kind of just said I need to take a step back and I need to gain some perspective here, and what am I actually doing all this for? And ultimately I came to the conclusion that it's just the music and the songs. And if I'm not doing that on a day-to-day basis, then I'm not really doing what I originally set out to do. Yeah. So
that makes sense. And it sucks because there's so much like noise or static out there that you do have to create content to break through the noise for people to be like, hey, that guy wrote a good song. Oh, he's still making music. Oh, that's great. Like, you're at the mercy of the algorithms to some extent, and it really sucks.
Yeah. Just because you make music, that's not the, that's your product, but it's like, it's basically like we all own a restaurant and we're selling burritos, and it's who's got the coolest sign, who's got the best commercial. It really comes down to marketing. Just like,
do you feel like that takes away from your creative writing and of writing those songs at all, of having to worry about all that content?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at with just setting up the first half of the day is going to only be writing. Second half of the day is going to be all that nonsense, because it does. If you don't prioritize and set that time aside, then it's not going to happen. And it proved itself last year. It didn't happen.
You also, to be fair, did have a second kid. So, I mean, like, I'm going to give you some grace there, but I understand at the same time.
I appreciate it. I will accept your grace.
Thank you. But no, like, if I were to, like, because I play guitar and stuff, and if before I sat down to do a writing session or try to focus on that, if I had just met with my marketing team to be like, here's what's working right now, that would infiltrate every chord progression I was trying to write afterwards. Like, every lyric, everything would be like, oh, if I want people to notice me, this is how I do it. How do you feel today? Like, I want to be noticed so I can feed my family. That's how I feel today.
Yep. Yeah. It's I don't know. It really took a toll on me last year. And I kind of I was like, I'm going to start waking up in the morning, making coffee and focusing on my passion and why I started down this road in the first place.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
then
that's great, man.
In the afternoon, then we'll start to do the things that,
the business.
You have to do it. And that's just as important. If you can't sell the product that you're making, then, nobody cares that you've got great taste in burritos until you, I don't know. I don't know where I was going to go. I don't know where I was going to land that.
You're good. You're basically saying,
you know what I mean.
You can be a restaurant with a phenomenal recipe, but if all you focus on is how good you're at making burritos, but you forget to tell anyone about the burritos you're making, what's the point of making the burritos in the first place? Perfect. And now I want a burrito. So thank you.
Dude, doesn't that sound so good right now? Oh,
yes. I mean, let's pivot to burrito talk. No, I'm joking.
No, that leads me to my next point.
My next point. Whenever
black beans or refried.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with a mix of black and pinto. So that's what I'm gonna throw out there. Yeah,
I like that. I'll give you down with that.
Do you want to talk about your new album or all that you got going on with all that stuff?
Sure. I am announcing at the time of us recording. I realize I kind of put a timestamp a few minutes ago, but I am about to announce my second album, Blue Sky Sundays. It's my first album on a record label.
That's cool.
I'm excited. I just signed with Rounder Records, and so this is kind of it's a fun album because it's the first project that I kind of took a step out and produced the project on my own. And I used my live band that I had been touring with for the last year to record the music. So it's really special to kind of all of us. It was kind of like a family project and really special to make it with those guys. So that will come out February 28th. And yeah, it's been in the works for a long time. It's an album about friendship and struggle, and kind of like anything that's worth doing. It takes time, and this album definitely took a few wrong turns that fortunately we had people in place that were there to go, I don't think this is right. I don't think this is ready, or I don't think this is right. So then we would take another turn, and it's almost been 2 years, but here we are, and the music sounds great, and I'm really proud of it. So,
where'd you record it at?
Sound Emporium on Belmont Boulevard,
right next to Martin's, right?
And that is why we recorded it there. I could sit here and nerd out and tell you all the cool things about the studio, but
let's just talk about Martin's. It's so good. You just probably smell. You're like, we need to break for lunch. JD, it's like 10 a.m.
That is literally what happened. I kid you not. When I was planning the album, I mean, I was like, I was just picturing us like recording and then being like, all right, guys, let's break, and then just walking down the street to eat ribs. I'm not making a bit. That is why we recorded there.
What is your favorite Nashville barbecue? Is it Martin's?
It is Martin's.
It is. Devin,
I have to stay loyal to Martin's because
so many times
that was like yeah. That's kind of where I cut my teeth, if you will, on barbecue. Like I wasn't real familiar with the culture or anything about barbecue. And I would just go in there and sit, and Martin's kind of has all the old vinyl and all the old country memorabilia. Yep. And so I'd sit there and just like stare at everything. And I learned so much about old school country music just by sitting there and eating. And so it has a soft spot in my heart.
If you'd have asked me when I moved to Nashville in 2006, it would have been Jack's, because Jack's on Broadway. Broadway was so drastically different in 2006. Oh, yeah. Like you could walk in and get like barbecue there for like $10 as opposed to like the $30 Vegas prices it is now. So that's whenever I think of Nashville barbecue, that's very special to me. If I'm back in town, I will probably go to Bringle's Smoking Oasis, because they do like the smoked sausages, they do all that stuff, and it's like cafeteria style.
Where is that at?
It is across the street from, do you remember Burger and Grain, the one place we went to for dinner? And the Nations? Yeah. It's like across the street from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I worked at Frothy Monkey in the Nations for a few months before COVID hit. So I was always like right in that little zone.
Yeah.
But that's a good spot.
It's a good spot.
I also love Edley's in Sylvan Park.
Yeah.
Edley's is good. I am a huge fan of Peg Leg Porker.
The Peg Leg Porker. Yeah.
All right.
Dude,
all right.
It is just so good. And I really hope that we can have Carry On.
I've never been inside Sound Emporium. I know a lot of great albums get cut there. I think Ron Pope records out of there a lot, Justin, just so you know.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, and like, it's a cool space. I feel like I've heard of a lot of really good records that have been recorded there. And Martin's is just a great added bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to go, I mean, typically, I think you can just like pop in and ask to like, if nobody like, if there wasn't somebody big recording there that day, it's such a cool spot to just pop your head in and check out. We got to work there twice, once for recording the project and then to come back and do a video shoot.
That's cool.
It's really great. It feels so old school, and it was a blast.
Nice. I did just have to look up Rounder Records and stuff, and like, dude, the artists that are on the same label as you are freaking awesome. Like, I didn't realize that was like Dawes's label now, or Bela Fleck, or I'm With Her. Like, dude, you're with some good company on that label.
I am.
That's cool.
Crazy. It's crazy.
That's cool, man.
I can't believe it. It's wild.
You're
man.
on a list with Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, man. That's pretty legit. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I'm very stoked.
That's cool.
I'd still. It's wild to me. I'm still kind of I can't believe it. It's crazy. I'm so excited.
Did you self-produce and self-release your first album, or is that what type of scenario was that?
I did self-release. I did not produce it. My buddy Thomas Doolin produced it. I'm very involved, and like I call a lot of the shots, and I hired the band. But like, that's just kind of how I work with a lot of my projects. I'm just kind of I love to be in it and be hands on. But for this second album, it was just like, man, I've learned so much from my buddy Thomas, and I'd love to see if I can just take my live band. I know what each of them is capable of. I know their talents, and I kind of just want to play coach and kind of get in there and like that. That's what it was. It was so great. We would kind of take each morning, and I'd sit down and kind of game plan what the day was going to look like with them, and then we'd go in and record 5 takes.
Yeah.
And then pick which one was the best and then start to break it down. And I don't know, it's just,
that's cool.
It was a blast. And, you know, somebody would get in their head about something and be like, man, I'm not liking this part. We'd go out, take a smoke break and come back in, and I'd go and like sit with them one-on-one and just be like, well, why don't you try this? Hey, you're better if you do this. Like, let's focus. And it was just amazing. It was
that's pretty cool.
So great. Yeah.
Were you with your family? Were you in Nashville for like a week or so? Was it? I mean, if you leave town to record a full album, that makes a ton of sense. Why it's so nice that you're around so many family members also, so that like your kids can still be watched. It's like eliminating that conversation as much with your wife has to be nice.
Yeah, it really has been great because before, when we lived in Nashville, if I had to, you know, take off for tour to, let's see, go up and play a couple shows in Buffalo, New York, she was just left at home in this tiny little, you know, mother-in-law suite in somebody's backyard in Nashville with a kid by herself. And it was just like, man, this doesn't make sense. This does not make sense. So, but in hindsight, I realized this year that there's sacrifices on both sides, because in the past, if we still lived in Nashville and I went on tour, most everybody in Nashville does the weekend warrior thing. So on a Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, we're going to tour and go do Birmingham, maybe do Knoxville, Asheville, and then I'm back home at my house in Nashville Sunday night. Now I leave on a Tuesday or Wednesday, drive 7 hours to Nashville. If I leave at 5 a.m., I get there by around 1:30, depending on how long I spend at the Starbucks outside of Memphis. And then I show up for rehearsal, and then we rehearse. Then we take Thursday, drive to Chicago. We have a show Thursday night, a show Friday night in Indianapolis, show Saturday night in St. Louis, come back home. Sunday, I've got a meeting I can't miss that's on Monday, so I stay through Nashville on Sunday, go to the meeting Monday, and then drive home Tuesday. Yeah. So I've been gone from home, from the girls for a week, and that's just a chill weekend of shows. Like the ones that are really bad, when it's like 2 back-to-back weekends that are on the east side of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
I won't be home for 2.5, 3 weeks. And it's just because it doesn't make sense for me to drive the 7 hours back to, it's just a logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
But again, you know, it's way more important that my wife and our kids are surrounded by all of our family to kind of take care of them, because I do have a unique situation here. So it's, you know, again, you could just have to do the best you can. That's kind of how I've wrestled with the whole guilt of like, I'm never around, like what, and then when I am home, it's like, you gotta explain to the mother-in-law that just cause I'm not on tour doesn't mean I'm not working.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yep. No, it's a different scenario to describe to someone. And like, it's also like the weirdest lifestyle ever. So it's not it really traditional.
Is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, my wife and I have been talking about that a lot lately. It's like, man, this is, I love playing music and it is so cool, but wow, it's just like everything, every job, it comes with its sacrifices, and it's not all it's cracked up to be once you get into the thick of it. It's different.
Yep. But it's also, I think with creative stuff, that's like something inside of you where, you know, if you don't express it, if you don't follow this through, don't like work on this craft, you feel like you're like betraying your inner self to some extent. Or that's how I always feel. So it's kind of like, this is a lot. These logistics are ridiculous. But if I ignore my ability and my ability to create music and my love of music, I feel like I'm betraying who I am. Unless, Justin, does Peachtree have any branches in Arkansas?
No. No,
sorry, JD, that was your out. I'm sorry. I tried.
Dude, I appreciate it. It means a lot. The snow removal nights, I guess it was 2020. We did one where we showed up to the shop down in Nolensville at 4 p.m. and I didn't get home till 11 p.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of those where it was like, man, I need to write some more songs.
This is not sustainable in any way.
This is crazy how they do this.
Yeah. Yes. That is my life for the past 13 years.
That's amazing.
Before we wrap down the episode and do the 5 questions, I just have to ask you one question. Did you have the dad mustache before you were a dad? Which came first, the dad life or the mustache?
The mustache came first.
Oh,
nice.
Okay. All right.
Believe it or not, it was spring of 2020, and I had been it was just like I was saying earlier, it was me, Jose, and Alfredo in the back of this truck. They both had killer stashes.
Mustaches, yes.
Yep.
and dude, I hadn't seen anybody in forever, and it was like nobody was communicating, doing nothing. I was like, dude, I'm gonna grow a stash, and so tried it out, and
here you are.
a few years later, here we go. You should have seen the first couple weeks when you initially like just grow out your scruff and then shave everything and leave. Boy, it was wild. It's really come along.
That's good. That's awesome.
I'm not as blessed as Justin. He's got it.
Like
he's got it going on.
You've also got good. Mine doesn't connect. Like the mustache to rest of beard. There's like a gap here, or it's like really blonde. So it just looks weird.
I can't even connect in between my stash. So that's why
you're not doing that.
That's not intentional.
That's not intentional.
I just can't. Okay. I can't even grow it there. So that's why I don't grow anything else, and why I just left the stash, because this is about all that grows on my face. 2 little wings. Yeah.
Two little wings.
Yeah. So Justin, even if yours has some gray in it, it's not patchy.
Oh yeah, it's
solid.
got a lot of gray in it.
I mean, but that's fine. You're 40, so you're so old. So it makes sense that it would be gray.
Shut up.
I'm starting to get them. I've got like 6 right now.
I am 6'4". My wife is 5'0", maybe 5'1". So I just stand up taller so she can't see the top of my hair and how gray it's getting. So it started to come in on the side. So I'm losing that battle for being, are you getting gray hair? No, I'm just going to stand up taller. You can't see. So
yeah, I've got pretty long hair.
Yeah.
Long gray hairs, that's a different story. When you find one,
definitely noticeable.
And you pull it out, it's like,
that one's mine. That one's
for some odd reason, the gray hairs are usually longer than the other hair. It is the weirdest thing in the world. At least for me, it is.
It's just mortality taunting you. That's all.
I guess it is.
So, JD, how we end all of our episodes is we ask every guest the same 5 questions. It's not rapid fire. You have time to think about them and stuff. Okay. And Justin will ask the first question.
Yeah. Did you have any backup names for your 2 kids?
We were maybe going to call my first daughter. She was born in June. Mm-hmm. We were gonna call her, if she was born in May. It was like right on the cusp. Her middle name was either going to be June or May. So that was I guess that counts. But we pretty much nailed down their names pretty far in advance. And our second daughter ended up being born on the 1st, so they're both June babies. And cool. We did not name the middle child's middle name also June. Just want to clarify. I realized that there wasn't really any point to make that connection. And I was like, they probably think that we also named our.
Like, in this family, we middle name our children June.
Yeah. We only do June.
That's it. Next question. Do you have a favorite TV dad?
Man, I think I got to go Tim Allen.
Ooh,
on Home Improvement.
That's man. Yep.
He's got a new TV show that just came out too.
I saw that. Yeah. I think a close second might be Jesse, but he's from Full House, but he's more or less an uncle.
Yeah. Well, he has 2 kids.
He does. He does. I think that was, what was that, season 7 when they're introduced, Justin? I'm just kidding.
I can't. I don't know.
I never watched Full House, so I am useless on this.
Oh, man. Full House, Step by Step, Family Matters. Those were the TV shows that I watched as a kid.
That's awesome. Yeah. But I'm going to stick with my first answer, Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
There you go.
Home Improvement. Yeah.
Do you also make random sound effects around your house? Do you make... Well done.
All right. Next question. Do you have a least favorite kids show or movie? One that just your kids watch or that you watched as a kid that you were just like, oh my God, I can't watch this again?
At first I didn't really mind her, but Miss Rachel has kind of been she needs to take a lap. She needs to take some time and think about the decisions that she's made. No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
I was like, dang, what is she doing?
What is Miss Rachel teaching your children?
So it's episode no.
Yeah.
No, she's great. But it's just a repetition. I'm like, all right, I need some variety. Coco Melon.
The worst.
Yeah, not a big fan, but
we should take a tally because I think that probably
Coco Melon or Caillou are always the top 2 ones.
Yeah.
No, at some point in time, Justin, I'll get the stats on it. Whenever all the free time I have, I'll start listening through episodes again.
It's not like you have to take care of kids or
no. I'm not
that.
Currently babysitting with a movie right now at all.
That's the dude. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice.
Yep, it is.
It works so great.
It does. Next question. Do you have a favorite kids toy or activity? Like whenever your daughters play with a toy or like an activity you do with them that you enjoy a lot? I
love the kitchen. She's got a small kitchen, and that's a fun little usually it's my wife will be feeding our youngest, and the kitchen is set up in her room, and I'll sit there and drink coffee, and I'll ask her to make me something, and she'll, it's got like the button that makes it sound like it's frying eggs. And,
yeah. That's fun. Yeah,
it's fun. I'm also proud because I built that Christmas Eve night at like 3 a.m. in the morning one year, and I was like, so to watch it be played with, there's a little. Something special.
I heard that gift came from Santa. Are you sure you built it? Isn't that?
Yeah, Santa built it.
I'm pretty sure that's Santa.
You know what?
Dude,
I think
my wife corrected me so many times this Christmas. I would say, hey, thank you for my gift. And she'd be like, what gift? Santa gave it to you. I'm like, seriously?
Your daughter's going to find this episode in a decade and be like, you built that?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'll find a way to blame Miss Rachel for that or something.
There you go.
But, yeah. My wife's family is huge on Santa, so it's like everything is
Santa.
Yes, everything is Santa, but it's like, they'll open, an adult will just open a gift in the amongst everybody, and it's just, oh my gosh, thank you, Santa. So that took some time to get used to.
Yes. Yep.
I'm like, I think I'm out on that.
I will be okay with a lot of new customs. This one's a little weird for me.
Not this one.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. What is one moment in your kid's life you are excited to be a part of?
I really am excited about when she rides a bike for the first time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That she's kind of starting to venture into that world with like a scooter and stuff. And I don't know. I could see riding bikes being because that was like a favorite pastime of mine when I was a little kid. So, I hope I get that chance to kind of help her, with the training wheels and all that.
Yeah. That's really cool. Nice.
How about y'all? Did y'all, what was y'all's, when you were me?
Yeah. We did this a year or two ago we did like our year, like end of the year episode, and it made us ask each other all these questions. Justin.
Gosh,
Justin,
I don't remember what I said.
I'm gonna ask you in this moment. I don't think you were pregnant or had a second kid by then. So let me get in my best NPR voice. Hold on. No, I can't. Justin, what is one moment of your child's life you're most excited to be a part of?
I would have to say it is whatever sport or activity that she starts and that she ends up liking. Just the moment of being able to go and watch your kid do that, whatever that activity is, if it's dancing, singing, playing basketball or softball, whatever. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Devin, what about
awesome.
you?
Oh, wow. It's my turn to answer. I really hope so I'll give two answers for this. One, I already have the first dance picked out for both my daughters, like the song for both of them. I already have it picked out just because it was what I would listen to a lot whenever they were kids. And so it's very associated with them. Whether or not they agree to that, when and if they choose to get married, different story. I would say I think that like we are all a accumulation of like the love that's been passed down through our family generations to us. And one way that my family has always passed down love is through cooking and through music. So I hope as they get older, they value cooking and like the amount of like stories you can tell with food and how important food is and how you prepare and everything. And also just like that you're listening to good tunes as it happens. So I will feel like I've been a successful parent is if they are in their 20s, they're learning how to cook food for themselves and listen to good music at the same time. Then I'll be like, man, I did something right, because that's the household that I grew up in, and that's very much like what I want to embody in them is like there's creativity that you're listening to, there's creativity that you're creating, and also it's all very functional because you get to eat it too. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
What I'll say for that. So
I love that. That's cool. Yeah. I do every once in a while have like this, kind of vision of me sitting with my two daughters and like, they're my age now, and just like what that will be like to converse with them and just sit down at a really nice restaurant and, I'm a millionaire and no.
You're sponsoring our podcast now. Sponsoring,
great. Yeah.
We're all taking huffs of Diva Wash afterwards.
Diva Wash.
One more hit.
Full circle.
Whoa.
Right. We need to see if we can get sponsored by them for this.
I'm not gonna lie. It does.
It's fantastic.
So good.
We'll have
to buy a bottle and start using it.
Yeah.
Oh God. The other thing we do to end episodes, JD, is just if we want to follow you, like listen to music, how do we find you? What's your Instagram handle? Spotify, all that good stuff. How do we find you?
Yeah, JD Clayton Official. I believe my website is jd-clayton.com. And everything's under JD Clayton Official.
Cool. Like this, honestly, this is what an episode is with us, is we just sit here, we share random stories about life and stuff, and then we share it later, because if you're a dad and you want to know what other dads are like, where do you go? Where do you find it? And there's not a lot of space for that. So thank you for being part of the space with us.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I got to check out a little bit of like what you guys do, but it's just, I appreciate you guys taking the time to have me on. It means a lot. I love the way this flows. It's so nice to just like talk to, it really is nice. Cause it's like, man, there are some nights where you're like, dang, what am I doing? And when you just hear that there's like other dads going through the exact same thing, it's like, all right.
It's that every other dad is also sitting there being like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Like, what did I just
why is she crying? All I said was, I said, stop crying. Why is she crying more?
But yeah, man, we really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you wanting to do an episode. And
thank you guys.
Yeah, man, we'll be in touch. And thanks a lot, JD, man.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, man.
All right. Y'all take care. Bye.
You too. Thanks so much for listening. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Nashville Dads. And make sure to follow us on anywhere you find your podcast. And please give us a 5-star rating. And thank you to Matt Oakes for providing the music for the episode. Catch you next time.